a very large stack of books and boxes that I put my camera on.
Here's what I found.
Oh my god, Siri. Hello, my name is Elise. Welcome back to my channel. It is time to freak out. Okay, that was so darky. No one make fun of me for saying that. So this is going to be my mid-year freakout tag for this year, 2021. If you're unfamiliar with this, it's just a book tag where you talk about the books you've read in the first half of the year, and that is what I'm going to be doing. It's been it's been a reading year. It's been a time. I mean, I've been beating myself up about not reading as many books as I did last year around this time, but also we were in a pandemic last year, and also I usually read like 3 books a year, and BookTube has just totally skewed my perception. There we go. BookTube has totally skewed my perception of things, so we're not going to do that. We're going to have a good time. So let's get started. I've read a lot of good books this year, and I am excited to talk about them. Question 1 is best book you've read so far in 2021. I hate choosing best anythings. I don't like favorites, but this tag is pretty much that, so whatever. So I have decided to choose 2 books. First one is called If This Gets Out. I've definitely mentioned this on this channel. It's coming out the end of this year / the beginning of next year, but it's basically a boy band romance, and I just had so much fun with it. I got a NetGalley arc of it and read it in a few days, even though it was kind of a long, chunky book, but just so fun, and it reminded me of all the band drama I'd get myself a little too immersed in as a child. So it was really fun, especially since it was fictional, so I didn't feel like I was, crossing boundaries as what would happen a lot of times when I was like 14, getting caught up in band drama. But yeah, so good. I can't wait for everyone to read it when it comes out. And then because I can't choose things, I chose another book for my favorite book, which is called Every Single Lie. And this was basically the first book I gave 5 stars in 2021. And it's just a young adult thriller, and I'm not big on thrillers. And I know a lot of people specifically don't like young adult thrillers, but I had a really good time. And it's just a really twisty kind of thriller. It starts off about some drama where there's a dead baby in a duffel bag in a locker room, and everyone is like, what is this? Who is this belong to? You must be a monster. And the whole book is just trying to figure out who this baby belongs to, and there's just so many twists, and you think it's one person, then you don't think it's that person, and just every single character you love and then hate, then love, then understands, and there's just so many great elements to this story. I really recommend this. I haven't heard anyone else talk about it, but it was just so well done. I mean, I don't read a lot of thrillers. I can't compare it to much, but I read it in maybe one sitting, probably 24 hours, and it was done. So good. Welcome to the suburbs. We have cars and motorcycles everywhere. Just ignore the background noises. Maybe that's a lawnmower. I can't tell. There's just noises all the time. Oh, it's getting louder. Hurry up, I'm filming. This is so annoying. I might have to pause this video because there's someone, my next door neighbor is mowing their lawn. Also, my window is open. They can see me talking to myself. This is deeply humiliating. Okay, time to pause the video until they finished mowing their lawn. We only got to question 1. How sad is that? I think I'm just gonna have to film with the lawnmowers because I'm on a time crunch and they are not stopping for me. So question 2 is the best sequel you've read this year, and I have literally not read a single sequel besides the Heartstopper series, so I guess this is gonna have to be my favorite since I have not read any other sequels. But yeah, you've all heard me talk about Heartstopper a million times. I'm plugging my book club read along thingy once again. That's with Katie Can't Read. It's called the Oseman Along, maybe Oseman Verse Along, Alice Oseman Read Along, I don't know. But we are reading all of the Alice Oseman books, and we started with this one. And yes, I have enjoyed Heartstopper immensely, so this is my favorite sequel this year. Question 3 is new releases you want to read but haven't yet, and there are hundreds of books that could be on that list, so I'm just going to pick up the ones that have been laying on my floor. First one is Trouble Girls, and thank you to the author for sending this to me. I'm so excited. Look how beautiful it is. I love those colors. And then we have Some Girls Do. And then lastly, Perfect on Paper. Yes, these are all sapphic YA contemporaries. Yes, that's my favorite genre. I'm so messy. I'm literally just picking up books off the floor that have just been living on my floor. But question 4 is a book that you are excited for the second half of the year. That is not the question, I paraphrased there, but that's the main gist. And I'm going with Rise to the Sun. I have been looking forward to this since it was announced in October. I just think it's something I'm gonna really, really love, and it's something I've kind of been looking for in a book for pretty much forever. So I'm really excited to read this. I'm actually gonna start it soon. My next video will probably be a reading vlog on this, and I will have a review too, so watch out for that. It's about messy sapphic girls and a music festival, and I just think that sounds wonderful. It's also by the author of You Should See Me in a Crown, and if you love that book, I'm hoping this will be one you'll like too, except I haven't read it yet, so I can't exactly say you should read it yet, but I'm just anticipating right now that I'm really, really gonna love this. Okay, I'm ready for this question. Question 5 is biggest disappointment, and this is gonna be the very first book I finished in 2021. I actually started it in 2020, but it was such a disappointment that it took me that long to finish, and it is Plain Bad Heroines. I was so excited for this book. It had a really cool cover. It sounded really cool. It just sounded like it would be something I'd enjoy, but it was unbearable. It was so long. It was like over 600 pages, and it did not need to be over 600 pages. I had no business finishing that book. I hated every second of it, but I felt like I had to. Like, I had gotten far enough because I wanted to like it, and I was pushing through hoping I would like it eventually, but I did not. I braved through it to the bitter end. I read an arc of it, a library book of it, and an audiobook, just, you know, jumping around the different platforms hoping one of them would make me enjoy the book. It did not, and I was very generous. I gave it 2 stars just because I had finished it and felt like it had to be for something, that I forced myself to finish it over all of those months. But in reality, I did not enjoy a single thing about it. I can't even tell you what it's about because I don't know. I was so bored. I have not been so passionately angry about a book disappointing me in a really long time, but this book just, I don't know, there was nothing I liked about it. It was so slow, it was uninteresting, it was kind of confusing, and I don't know if that was because it was actually confusing or because I was so bored that I was tuning out and then was missing things, but so sad that that book was just such a disappointment, and it was really not the best way to start off my reading year. Question 6, what was the biggest surprise this year? And I kind of feel like I talk about the same books in all my videos. Like, I read a lot of books. I don't need to keep mentioning the same 10 books when I read so many books, but like, these ones were really good. So if you haven't read them yet, if I haven't convinced you, get on it. But yeah, the biggest surprise from this year would be called One of the Good Ones, and this is another young adult thriller. I've been really enjoying the young adult thrillers that I've read, and anytime I read a young adult thriller, it's on accident. I just assume it's a regular contemporary YA fiction book, but I've enjoyed them really so much this year, so I probably should read more. But yeah, this book is about 3 sisters, and one of them dies at a protest, and it's about them grieving. And the first half of the book is kind of like a normal YA contemporary, but then it has some wild twists. I don't want to say anything else because the twist at the end totally surprised me. I didn't realize it was a thriller till the second half of the book, but so good. If you like books that are twisty and keep you on your feet, but also incorporate some social themes and just have a lot to them, just layers upon layers, this is a great one if you like the YA contemporary genre. Question 7 is your new favorite author for this year. And again, I don't really like choosing favorites, and I actually don't think I have a new favorite author for this year. It's kind of rare that I have authors that are like auto buys or whatever people call that, or authors that I just want to read all of their books. I don't like series really, so I don't have authors that I want to continue reading series for. So yeah, I don't really have anyone. I mean, the exception is Alice Oseman, but I discovered Alice last year, so I guess not. Maybe if I have to answer this question, I'll say Elise Bryant, who wrote the book Happily Ever Afters. I really loved that book. It was so sweet. I gave it maybe 4 stars, I think, and I will be mentioning it for another question, but I think that book just made me like the fluffy YA contemporary romance. Why am I saying that as if that's not what I usually read? But yeah, it was really sweet. I really liked her writing. I just recently added her sequel to that book because I didn't know it had a sequel, or will have a sequel. I didn't know it was a series. There we go. So Yeah, I added it to my TBR. I feel like I didn't finish that sentence. But yeah, I don't think I really have a new favorite author. That's kind of disappointing. I have to get on that. All right, question 8 is your newest fictional crush, and I usually never answer this question in any context. Last year for the mid-year Freakout tag, I did not answer this. I think I came up with some answer that was not exactly an answer to this question, and it's just not something I think of. I don't know. I am not the kind of person who's like, oh my gosh, my new fictional boyfriend. Like, if that's you, good for you. It's just not me. However, we are making an exception this year. So I read Counting Down with You. It was actually a buddy read with my friend Maury. It's by Tashie Bhuiyan, and I think that book has broken my resistance to answering that question, because I'm gonna go with Ace from Counting Down with You. I did not want to like the bad boy romance. I didn't want to. I am resistant to that. I don't know why. Look at me like angrily snapping and pointing multiple times during this question. She made me like the bad boy love interest. She did it. I wrote a whole review on this and like had a YouTube video review. If you're interested, you should check it out, because I had a lot of fun making that video. But yeah, we're gonna go with my newest fictional crush is Ace from Counting Down with You, because he's the total bad boy stereotype that ends up being really sweet, and I just loved it so much, and it's making me feel a little sick admitting that out loud, but it's true. Y'all, I am struggling with these favorite whatever questions, but question 9 is your newest favorite character. This took me a while to think of an answer for, but I'm gonna go with Rumi from Summer Bird Blue. No, you did not just see me really subtly check the back to see what the main character's name was, because I forgot. But anyways, Rumi is a very angry, kind of mean character, but she has kind of an excuse. She's grieving in the book. Right in the first chapter, ooh, wow, we have loud cars again right while I'm talking about grief. Okay, that's appropriate. Anyways, right in the beginning of the book, her sister dies, so it kind of makes sense why she's not the nicest person and why she lashes out at people, but she's also just not kind to the people who are trying to help her out. But the reason why I like her, because she is unkind and mean and confused and hurt, is because it's just something I really related to. I feel like when it comes to angry, mean, hurt, sad characters that are kind of unlikable, I just relate to them. And I don't know what that says about me, but I just enjoy that representation in books. And I especially appreciate it when it is a female identifying character, because I feel like a lot of times in literature we have the angsty male characters, and people tend to love those and praise those books more than the angry female characters. So I really appreciate that in this book. Yes, I have promoted this book many times, but it does have asexual representation, and if that's something you're looking for, here you go. Here's the book. I really enjoyed it. Yes, it's a very slow, character-based YA contemporary. Yes, I understand that's not everyone's favorite thing, but I liked it a lot, and I loved Rumi from this book. Do we hear the plane? There's a plane. Okay. Where's that wind? I can't even tell. There's just noises everywhere. So the next question is a book that made you cry, and for this one I'm going with the book Real. This is kind of the branch between middle grade and young adult, and it's about a girl who is autistic and nonverbal, and even though she can't speak to others, we are hearing all of her thoughts through the first person point of view. So it's about her experiences with being mistreated and misunderstood, and I just thought it was a very emotional book. I will say right now, there are some mixed reviews from Own Voices autistic reviewers. Some of them really enjoyed the representation. Some of them said it kind of bordered on inspiration porn, but it did make me cry, and I really liked the writing style, but do keep track of those reviews if you're interested. Question 11, I don't have 11 fingers. Question 11 is a book that made you happy, and for this one I'm choosing Happily Ever Afters. This is the book that I mentioned kind of for my favorite author, but it was just a really, really sweet young adult contemporary romance about a girl who has writer's block, and in order to get inspiration for her novel, she needs to find her own real life romance, and I just thought it was so cute. And as someone who likes writing and reading, clearly. I mean, I have a whole YouTube channel on this. I just thought it was really sweet, and you know what? Maybe that's what I'll do to overcome my years of writer's block. And now my dog is barking. Just all the noises happen only when I'm filming. Come on, y'all, the lighting is wonderful right now. Everyone just shh. I have to go somewhere soon, so I'm just gonna continue this video while my dog barks because I am not redoing this whole video. But the next question is the prettiest books you've bought this year, or most beautiful books you've received. I don't know, something like that. But I am going with One Last Stop and Honey Girl. I just love illustrated covers so much. They are very pretty. I like the colors. Oh my gosh, my dog is so loud. She is not a fan of these books, I guess. But yeah, they're very pretty. I love the aesthetics. Wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna hold the culprit for the remainder of this video because I've been trying to film this video for so long and everything is just making noises. Look at you, I could have finished this video and you want it to be loud. Oh my gosh, I'm out of breath from walking or running up the stairs with my heavy dog. But the last question is a book you still need to read by the end of the year. And I'm going with I Was Born for This. I'm out of breath, what the heck. This is an Alice Oseman book, and it's probably I think it's the only one I haven't read yet, but I will read it by the end of the year because I have the Alice Oseman read-along thing to read it for. All right, that's the last of the questions. It's time to end this video because now my brother is being really loud while playing video games. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I am looking forward to whatever books I read in the next half of the year. Goodbye from Elise and Cookie. Say bye. Bye. So the first question is best book you... Ooh, my necklace.